Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another mod stream. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be fixing up some tileset related things in an attempt to get everything squeaky clean, such that we will be able to enjoy a little bit of map making here. So I'm looking at the first Protoss mission. Obviously, this is a draft of a map that will pretty much never see the light of day, although it has in various states existed in, like it's on the repo right now, for example, and stuff like that. But at this point, we need to get a different background color tone for the dirt on the mud, the doodads, and the double, like a stack cliff thing over here, right? The cliff stacking tiles. I think that's the bulk of it. But the other thing to keep in mind is that we should probably blend the lower part of that cliff with like raised jungle here. And there might be a few other cases where that is necessary. Like as you can see over here, it's pretty obvious that we need that. I think that might be the only other case, though. Like, this is generally a pretty good map to use as a basis for making our terrain modifications. I figured I would ease my way back into map making a little bit here, because obviously I've been away from that for a while, getting work done on the mod. And now that we are at a position where we're not exactly done with the mod, we might even be adding a couple of new units to supplement the Zerg, but in a different patch. Might as well get some work done on mapping, since I'm streaming out in such a wacky fashion now that I'm not really streaming in conjunction with iQuare or Veek being awake, so they can help me with some of the programming stuff or the AI stuff. Unfortunately, I'm kind of a lone wolf right now based on the time zone, which is just the way that the cookie crumbled with the schedule this week so far, like yesterday and today. So should be a little bit different tomorrow, but for now we have our work cut out for us here. We might as well get some work done on something that we can work on. So if I jump over to my jungle folder here, pop into the dirt cliff section. I do have a DF folder here. And this looks to be something related to what we were initially thinking here. Obviously, to just change out the lower stuff is not that big of a deal. So what we can do is we can jump into a different instance of Explorer, go into Rocky or Raised Jungle. I made the error of clicking on Rocky Ground, and I also said Rocky Ground, so that's pretty funny. Actually, we don't even need any of that. We can grab a nice, lovely source canvas from here. The root folder. We can also set ourselves up with a 32 pixel grid. And we can go ahead and merge these layers, crop, and then move it down to the lower section, which is obviously where... Oh, never mind. What are we missing here? So we just have to mask off the spots that I'm selecting right now. Nothing really that big of a deal, in theory. Go ahead and do the same thing over here. It's certainly a lot easier to do for... it would be a lot easier to do if Photoshop didn't do that. Well, that's kind of confusing. Oh, I know why. It's because it's like set up as a mask or something. So I just have to literally mask out like that on the individual layer, or I have to create a separate layer. All right, well, That was kind of stupid, but whatever, we got it done. So we can go ahead and max this out. Set the dither to, I think it was 75 for converting it to platform, but I don't know if that's required for this particular purpose. I think we might just do a 50 here. Then we'll go ahead and set it back down to 512. Get some interesting blending over here. It almost looks like it's by design from this distance. I don't know what it'll look like in game. I might have to come back in here and some post-processing stuff and fix some stuff up. But we can do dirt cliff, doodads, our jungle. I guess before we do that, we can go ahead and save this, right? We can save this as dirt cliff doodads. We will need to keep this open, obviously. I guess we can go ahead and extend the height by doing something like this, and then merge layers, and then save. But anyway, that's not the folder we want. We want to jump into Dirt Cliff Edge. So this is obviously going to be a bit different. I think in theory I should be able to just plop this below. I think this was by design. Looks like we missed some sort of masking over in that area, but that's okay. It can be fixed. Maybe. We don't really know. I assume it can anyway. I'm not really accustomed to drawing lines precisely with this lack of mouse excel that I have been forcing myself to adapt to recently. Though I guess in a way I could just copy this over. And then that would be more reasonable. Don't know why I didn't do that before. Not missing anything. Why would you ever cartooned creep? Or are you talking about the mask being purple? How you doing anyway, Mr. Remy? Okay, we'll go ahead and 2048 and Dirt Cliff Edge, our jungle. Oops. Oh, check that out. This one's actually it would be configured properly if it wasn't for the maybe I can put it above that. Okay, that works. I guess. Never know what's going on in here. Not my PSD, not my problem. Okay, so we've gotten the ramps taken care of there. That was probably the lowest hanging fruit, honestly, in terms of figuring that shit out. I'm going to go ahead and crop out the whole bottom half here. And then save these as 2. And that'll be what we actually import, because I don't have any use for the asphalt ones. Playing some For Honor, raging about getting bots on my team. Then get players on my team that make me spots. Yeah. Listen, be careful what you complain about, I guess. That's the moral of the story. But I can sympathize with that. All right, so here we have Dirt Cliff Stack, and I'm not sure what to make of it because stack higher, right? Okay, that's the upper stack. Okay, we can close that entirely. And then we have stack lower. All right, so in theory, if I can secure some sort of higher dirt... okay, I've already done that. Maybe it's easier than I expect. All right, so notably, we are missing the stack. I'm pasting this in the lower one. That's what it's supposed to be, right? Yeah. Well, we just need a variant of it that's stacked like that. Maybe I already have that imported, though, and I'm just not using it? No, this is the condensed version of that. So why is it not masked out over here, then? Seems a little odd. I'm not very familiar or experienced with the game for that in that particular example, but I'm not surprised, I guess, that it would be a literal salt mine in that respect. Can't say I'm surprised. I wonder why I masked out the entirety of the lower stuff here, where you'd think I would mask out none of it. Oh, okay. I can actually just delete this mask then, it looks like, with no repercussions. And what's the worst that happens? I just undo it, so might as well fix this issue where possible. I don't see any problem with it. I'm wondering why that was there to begin with. It's really weird. Yeah, pissing people off more than League of Legends is quite the accomplishment. I feel like it's the ultimate puberty test for video games, honestly. Because like the people who there's very few people who have stuck with it for like the entire lifespan of the game, for example. You know what I mean? It's like it's very fleeting. No, I'm just annoying. I'm just glad you're still alive, man. I would hate to find out that some of my fellow frauds have been corona'd. So it's always good to see a familiar face in that respect. Oh, yeah, you know what? I guess I should probably do this, huh? Actually move this shit up and then crop it out. All right, so this is Dirt Cliff Stack. All right, this is HH dirt cliff stack. Yeah? Or no, this would be regular H dirt cliff stack. And then everything being the high cliff terrain level would be HH. Right. So then we can do this will be HH dirt, and we can copy it. For maximum confusion. I don't think that's supposed to be that way, but okay. Maybe I got this wrong. I'm so confused. Oh, yeah, no kidding. If the last thing you hear from somebody for a while is not feeling well. Anyway, this seems to be the bit of terrain that we need here. So we'll go ahead and 2048. Bing, bing, bong. And this will be HH Dirt Cliff Stack. And I'll just crop it out later, or like cut it down later. All right, we'll keep upper at high. Doesn't this make sense? Like, this would be the version where you're dealing with, like, the second tier, or like the base cliff is high dirt as opposed to higher dirt. Yeah, I don't know why I was confused by that to begin with. It was really... Guess it's just been a while since I've been messing around with terrain. Whatever. Okay. We figured it out. Then the other thing that I wanted to do, right, was turn that off and then set this to dirt. Because we're going to use this setup. Like, this will be our dirt cliff set or whatever. Although I am noticing that I'm confused about that. I feel like this mask is incorrect. Ooh. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I have the old higher dirt in there I can get rid of. I mean, like, I don't think you need the higher dirt for anything down here. I think you need the upper is really only used for over here, right? So why is there any anywhere, in my opinion? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, this is like a mess of a mask. It probably makes sense if I were to take off the black over layer, but there's not really much of a reason here. Like, you only need to mask in the higher terrain tile and shit like this, right? So I don't get the point of it at all. I think I was overthinking this layer when I was doing it for the first time. Okay, so now we've done it in this way. We should redo the masking with the 75 diffusion, and we're going to jump into HYDRA platform. We're going to save this as just our cliff stack, just the same thing that it is anyway. So this will be HDirt cliff. And this is HDirt cliff stack. Okay. Pretty comfortable about that one. So we've got our dirt cliff stack set up for... I mean, we don't even really need it for actual dirt cliff stack, right? But we do need it for HDirt, and we need to re-import the HDirt cliff stack and the HHdirt cliff stack, the higher ones. And then I'm obligated to throw in the one for the space ones, so that iQuare can use them in his map, but I can also use them in the Deliverance fourth map. So you've been mostly playing For Honor lately? Any other games been grabbing your attention? Mr. Remy, if you're still there. Oop, never resized this one back down to 512. Easy fix. I would have expected you to be a guy who might be in, well, maybe not, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm remembering you were more of a UT guy than a Quake guy in any respect, but I was wondering if you had checked out not Unreal Tournament, what the fuck was I thinking to say? Diabolical at all. It's a fast-paced arena shooter, in theory. One thing that's an obvious deal breaker for me is the lack of bot support. I mean, the fucking game has bot in the name. Come on now. But I figure for FPS purists, it's probably something they're really appreciative of. All right, now we need to do mud. What is our file looking like here? 384. Oh wait, I should keep that open because then up next we should do the Dirt Doodads PSD. It's not really a good look, honestly, but I can fix that up later. Should just at least get the graphics implemented. We'll worry about the rest there. Well, what's weird is like Quake Champions is an official Quake game, and it's not really anywhere near as good as the older Quakes, right? It like tried to be a MOBA or something. Or like Overwatch apparently, or something like that. Like they were trying to do some weird shit. It's not a person, but a big R. What is the R for? I'm scared to ask what the R could possibly be for. Gee, really makes you think. Let's turn off all this shit so I can actually see what I'm looking at here. I am going to need to scroll here until I find... Oh, here we go. Here's the Dirt Cliff stack. This appears to be what needs to be converted to the higher Dirt Cliff stack, if I'm not mistaken. So we probably have a regular Dirt Cliff stack buried in here somewhere as well. Or maybe there's only one? Yeah, it actually looks like there's only one. What would I want out of this one? I mean, I'm not really using the top part, which is the only difference here anyway, so... I guess I'll just import the higher dirt one and call it a day. Well, no, I guess it's fine to import the other one. All right, jump in here. Clef. HDirt Cliff stack. Oh, it's Renato, dude. That's what the R stands for. Thanks, man. I never would have guessed. That's pretty funny. Go ahead and close that view for now. Jump into here, and we're going to import that. We're going to save, and we are going to jump in here. Wait, what the fuck? Why is there so many random... Uh-oh. I know why. I have to black out the bits that are misplaced. This looks like it's the only one where I'm going to have to do that, though. The negative space needs to be null, or it's not going to match the custom tile stuff that I've got saved somewhere. This is something that feels super irrelevant to me. Like, I really don't care about. The fuck? Oh, just do that. Okay. So we're gonna have to go ahead and clean this one out and re-import it. That's fine, no big deal. Well, it's just this particular section, I guess. Save. Stands for rimming. That might not be illegal. Okay, we've got dirt cliff, edge, medium, high. So that's right. That's correct. Does mean if I want to have like high raised jungle, which I do need for that particular map, and just for completion's sake, I should have. I will have to re-import this tile set. I just remembered that. Kind of forgot about that one. All right. Oh, that might not work. Hold on. Let me see. Show me the money here, boys. Boys and girls. Okay. Looks like it did because of the ignore extra tiles thing or whatever. So that's fine, actually. Now I just need to enable group multi-selection. Shift select the whole fucking thing. And set it to unbuildable. I can go ahead and turn off group multi-selection. And we can re-import the whole thing and do it all over again, and then I just have to shift the height up, and it'll be super easy. Pretty nice. It's amazing how much more usable this program is, with the thanks to the tender, loving care of one Veek man. There we go. I'm surprised that NA pugging is more alive than EU pugging, because notoriously, and it's actually something I've been discussing with some of the people that I've had on for interviews on the second channel, it's very often seen that like the North American scene has the like most drama, the most like this, that, and the other thing. It's surprising that to me that there's like more drama on the EU side for that game. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. After a certain point, tight-knit communities like that almost always have their problems spelled out for them, basically, unfortunately. All right, just like that, we are good to go with our raised jungle stuff. Need to do the mud now. Need to do the doodads now. So I guess it would be prudent of me to reboot SCM draft here and go and find myself wherever the fuck these things are. All right, this is somewhere above the jungle cliff suite and the high dirt bridge. Doesn't tell me much, but whatever. Maybe I'll find it. Yeah, I think it's like above all these temple ramps and stuff. These tile sets are so enormous, so we should be getting close if we didn't accidentally pass it. Because here's the jungle cliff suite. Okay. Found it. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and import this. We're going to go ahead and jump into the mud section. Mud, edge, HH, dirt. Beautiful. You can go ahead and set the height to high. And then do this. And then that's in store. Perfect. Stop breeding pugs, SMH. You actually. How you doing, Hoop? Yeah, when like I guess they really aren't interested at all in any growth that they might have that they might be able to facilitate or anything like that, huh? Which is pretty sad. Oh, that's interesting. This is like a super old set of doodads that I have over here. Surely I have a more up-to-date version of that doodad list somewhere. Probably up here, if I had to guess. Like above all of this stuff. Because I think that was one of the last things that... Nice frogs. I think that was... Yeah, so it's probably this. If I change over to height, yeah, okay. It's medium. All right. So we found it. Import, megatile, group graphics. Boom. Now, really, the only question is whether or not the dirt cliff doodad medium. No. I need dirt doodads. I'm not sure if this is actually going to match up is the problem. It looks like it almost did. For some reason, I've got nothing over here. And then I've got nothing over here. Oh, yeah. It actually matched up perfectly somehow. Except for some errors. So that's easy enough to fix, I guess. Wasn't expecting that one. Okay. Obviously, then, other than that, we've just got to jump over here. Set all these to shift height up a few times. All right. Then we should be good to go. A perfectly hoopin' day. Did you know I added the hoop thrower unit from 5 Nations to HYDRA recently? It's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, in a way, we kind of had that Counter-Strike thing happen in a while back, but it wasn't because one team was always better. It was actually because the same 2 teams were always in the tournament every single time in the finals. And like some people were complaining. I wasn't. I thought it was great because it's like, oh, you get to see these two, rivals duke it out again, and they're like that much better than the rest of the scene. That they're always there. It's like something that you can rely on. I thought it was cool, but some people, understandably, got bored of the same matchup. But all right, let's go ahead and clean out all of the unused shit that we created when we fucked around with this tile set. Close that. Save. Unfortunately, removing mini tiles is still sometimes unstable, but it's also very slow. Astralis and Team Liquid last year. Well, I guess it was Astralis and Team Liquid for most of 2018 and a decent amount of 2019. Yeah, this is very much more recent than Nip and Fnatic, but they were, I guess those were other examples. It's like, you had Titan, Very Games, and then eventually it was like Envy or whatever, and there were some eras where there was like a bunch of teams that were pretty good, like when you had Virtus Pro, Astralis on the come up as like TSM back in the day or whatever. But yeah, more recently it was all about Astralis and Team Liquid, and they were just butting heads all the time. It was mostly Liquid sided for 2019 until they got stopped in the quarterfinals of the last major. Can't believe that was the last major. That was so long ago. All right, we'll go ahead and close that. Now, if we did our jobs right, we won't actually have to do... Well, the things that we're going to have to edit in are the dirt doodads and the raised jungle stuff. But if we did played our cards right, the mud and the stacked cliff will not be needing any further attention from us, which is, pretty good. We can get that done. Go ahead and jump in here. And then we'll just jump in here. Sure. ARR myself. Okay. Jump in. Yep, mud is good. This doesn't really seem accurate. I don't know what's going on there. I'm pretty sure I replaced that stuff. I'll have to take another closer look at that. But anyway. The only reason I have to replace the dirt doodads too is just because I didn't actually use the more up-to-date dirt doodad brush when I was initially plugging this stuff in, so that's my own goofball fault. I don't know what the fuck happened over there. I won't ask. All right, so what are we actually putting and where are we putting it? I'll investigate that issue with the... It's hard to tell, like, what doodad I even used. It doesn't really matter, though. I don't have to use the same shit, but... Oh, I don't have crevices. Or if I do, they are not imported. That'll be a relatively quick fix, though. Okay, aside from crevices, should be relatively straight shooting here. It feels like maybe these dirt cliffs are not set up properly. I will have to go and give them another look. The stacked cliffs. I don't know what was going on there. Oh yeah, notoriously, I never actually put any doodads over in those areas. Alright, so let's manually replace the raised jungle stuff and then we will be on our way. Oh wait, this is the wrong set, my man. There we go. One thing I definitely leveled up when I worked with, like just in a little bit since I worked on these maps, is I made it so that the terrain that was hand painted didn't feel like it was hand painted. It felt like it was a bit more natural than, like, you know, it's just a lot of straight lines or whatever. I really fucked around with the. It took a little bit more time, but I did mess around a lot more with some of that stuff. So I feel like that was that's a good reflection to look at and see, like, oh, I did a pretty decent job with some of that shit by comparison. Oops. So, Hoop, I've actually been meaning to ask you. I don't know if you listened to one of the recent. It was the channel map that I put out earlier yesterday, but I finally decided to put Age of Empires on the roster here, the first and second games. And my current plan of action is to jump into the series and just play whatever was initially released with the game years and years ago, like whatever campaigns were initially out there. That's what I'm going to subject myself to, we'll say. And if I'm actually enjoying myself with the game to some extent, then I will, at that point, make a decision whether or not I want to play like additional content in the game. Now, I don't know if this even is a reasonable thing. Like, I don't know if that even makes sense. I don't know to what extent the content that is out there was already on the first disc and what content was made after the fact. So maybe you could shed some light on as to whether or not any of that blabbering was accurate to some reality. Oh, of course it does. Why am I not surprised? No, you can't make me do that. Oh, great. But why? Why would they make me do that? All right, so that looks like it was the reason behind that issue. I'll jump over here to figure out where those crevices are. That looks like they're decently far up, actually. Just bypassed them. I don't understand why they always have, all of those games always have shit like that. Really boils my piss. Oh, I guess I never even bothered making a HYDRA bit over here. Go ahead and plug that in. What a mess. Okay. I think I'm good. I can go ahead and do this. We can say crevices, HDirt. We can tag the minerals in. We can say crevices, HDirt. Oh wait, these are M crevices, HDirt, and these are crevices, HDirt. Wait, where? Oh, fuck that! I have to re-import the higher dirt ones. Oh man, dumb. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this, minimize that, and yeah, those tutorials seem to have been really good starts for a lot of the people out there, you know? And I think generally speaking, if you have a constant, some sort of reliable aspect to it, is that you can pretty comfortably expect the AI to remain functional throughout all of the patches and all that if you have a sane development environment. So it's really easy, generally speaking, I would posit, to rely on that and be like, this will always work, you know? You're never going to run into some embarrassing Blizzard issue where your AI doesn't even run or something. You know what I mean? I don't remember if there were any other bases that were on the high ground. It doesn't look like it. Okay. Cool. I guess we'll jump into the TO1. See if there's anything that needs to be looked at. Looks like there is. Oh, actually, I have no idea where those doodads are. God damn it. They're above the frogs. That much I know. But everything here seems mostly intact. Oh, the bridges, XD. I don't think I ever got those from DF. Something that I can't escape from the thought of is revisiting some of the Nemesis material, either by actually revisiting it, like going back to the old maps and updating them, or making like a new one. It's probably just like, I feel like it would be useful to have some sort of custom content to hold people over while the new engine is being made, but if I'm working on that, I don't want to split my focus between working on that and the engine, obviously, so. And I guess I could probably work on that on the side or something. Yeah, I was thinking what we really need is we need to find a way to make like a single AI take on 7 human players. And that could be like Nemesis Omega, you know? That could in theory be the case. And Nemesis Stormborn was only not hard because like we ran into some really difficult to solve AI issues. It wasn't like by design meant to be that that easy. I definitely think it was too easy. So I'm in agreement as far as that goes. Ah, Loler man. Welcome to another late night stream. Decided to go for some tile set updates today. Just about done updating the tiles in the existing HYDRA maps, which admittedly are not that epic, but whatever. I've pretty much all but forgotten about a lot of these things, honestly. It's one of the reasons why I'm itching to get back into it. I'm like, yeah, keep this up and I keep showing you. Well, the problem is that it alienates me from the Euros that are usually here to like help me work on content and shit. So, like Iquare and Veek are usually my men. But I've been AFK during the time. Well, I've actually been here usually, but I'm like prepping for an interview on the other channel or something. Pretty happy that I've been able to slam so many of those out in short notice. Turns out if you actually ask people to come and hang out and give interviews, they're more likely to say yes. Who would have guessed? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if we've actually fixed the crash side of things, unfortunately, but what we're facing now is not only can we not create any more units, but we can't even create any more AI. We get like AI script limit reached, and then less than a minute later, there's usually some crash. So it's pretty bad. Not really sure what to do about that. In theory, that's something that iQuire and I could collaborate on or something, but I don't know about that one. Bum, bum, bum. You know what I mean? What if you were to do your modding streams? Why don't you stream the unfortunate development of a man working on Starcraft 2 content, dude? Totally phrased that as perfectly as possible. But... yeah, I keep forgetting, like, despite the fact that you're in America, you have shit upload speed. That does not compute for me because I've never really had bad upload speed. So unfortunately, I have internet privilege. Well, it's fortunate for me, but unfortunate for me trying to understand anybody else's plight. Yeah, I'm in Massachusetts, which is definitely more like liberal and somewhat in the realm of being populous. Although I'm in a relatively small city, but it's Boston adjacent, so there's plenty of like business. What's up, Lucy? I do find it funny that it's quite convenient to turn my home state, my homo state, into asshole. Or something asshole adjacent. Yeah, remember I was saying Boston adjacent, asshole adjacent. Ever consider that? I think that was the most involved I've ever had to do anything related to this shit. But cool. Now we just need to wait for DF to send me the bridge changes, and we'll be in business. As far as these tiles go, they'll be shippable. I guess that your internet speed, Luller, explains the problems with, like, you were telling me that you had like constant buffering sometimes. I don't know if I've been meaning to ask you if that's improved in any way since then, but here we go. What the fuck? Can you even send packets to like can you even send the requisite information to get a return signal for basic services like at 0.01? Oh man, that's what a mess. I guess I can't really be surprised. I guess if you're not really interested in maybe it depends on where you're really planning on going with stuff, but I've never seen a reason to not go public with content. I don't know if that's just me. Like, I guess if you actually want to avoid as much contact as possible and just send it to people who are interested, then that's something. But I'm just wondering what the motivation would be for that. Yeah. Like if you're I that's the only thing that would compel me is like if for whatever reason I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I made this project for myself and anybody else. Especially if it's single player content, I can see why. Like if it's not multiplayer content, because then you don't need anybody else to play it with you. I've also always had a bit of an ego when it comes to shit like this. So if I put a lot of work into something, I'm like, fuck yeah, you better tell me what you think. And then there's, of course, the actual genuine desire to learn. So it's a mixed bag, I suppose. Oh, I should check to see if I even have crevices imported into this tile set. I don't know if I do. It's not looking like it. Okay. That's a no. Unless they're stuck up here. And that's also a no. Well, I wouldn't worry about that personally. Like, odds are nobody's got an original idea. It's just the way it is. Like, it sounds weird to say, but I don't think there are original ideas at this point. Everything's been done at least once. It's more important to get something done well, for my money. All right, time to re-index some shit. Actually, I probably already have this folder open somewhere. Yep, here it is. Oh, that's not the right one. Do 75. It cycled up to 77 for some reason. Scroll wheel, by the way. Then, of course, I need the mineral crevices that I forgot to actually generate when I had Photoshop open. What's an example of like an idea that you would be like of your own that you'd be paranoid of? Because maybe I'm missing the mark when it comes to like determining what actually is going on there. Oh. It's funny that you say the Cyprian. That's a unit whose concept I feel is like it'll probably feel a lot better when there's a custom art asset for it that actually looks like this mechanized suit where it's a guy like running around in small power armor instead of a fucking whatever the graphic that is currently used as the placeholder is supposed to be. I've got a write up for what its graphic is supposed to look like. So it'll probably look a lot better, but I'm really not sure about the passive, honestly. Like, moving slower and dealing AoE is maybe an interesting move. I guess maybe when it was dealing explosive damage, it felt a little bit weirder because you're not going to be. It's not that much AoE, and it's explosive damage from an infantry unit, so it's probably not going to even be that good. Whereas now it's normal damage, I think, and they're like, I don't even remember. I should boot the game up real quick to test. Yeah, they're normal damage now. Yeah, I mean the thing is like I totally understand being content with a small community because I'm the same way with. I'm assuming what you're talking about is even smaller than like my Discord server or whatever, but I'm pretty much the same way. Like I look at my Discord server like it's got like it's in the double digits of regular posters. It's probably like 20, 25 people. Maybe I'm actually underselling it and there's more than that regularly post. And there's a bunch of people who lurk, and then there's a bunch of people who are there who are just waiting for me to message them and say, hey, are you actually using this server? And then they're like, no, and then they leave or I kick them. So like that's basically how it is. Like there's some people who are just inactive, right? Like the vast majority of people are inactive. Maybe they're lurking and maybe they're like actually still there or whatever. But that's usually just how it is anyway. So I'm very happy with that because you get surrounded by some of the people who are like the people who are active are obviously invested in whatever you're doing. So yeah, that's awesome. Like it's basically grassroots or whatever you would call it, RTS content or whatever, you know. That's pretty good. That's a good ability to have, innate or otherwise. Like fuck, if people could learn that ability, is it possible to learn this power? Not from a normie. Pretty good. And yeah, more than 10 viewers on Twitch. I know this sounds fucking insane, but more than 10 average viewers on Twitch is monetizable. Now, I'm not sure how much money, probably not much. But that's all you need to know. Like I know a guy who was getting like 300 regular viewers and he was making like a grand, 2 grand a month off of that. And that's not that bad money, you know? And that's just with 300 viewers. Yeah. So like the actual conversion rate, if you can get that. So. Well, yeah, I feel like I'm probably in a similar position where when I talk to people, I usually talk about like really weird shit. And so they either stop talking to me or they continue talking to me because they like talking about weird shit. And in either case, I win because either I'm having interesting conversations or I'm not having stupid conversations. So that's usually how I get around it. But obviously, that's not an approach that works for everyone. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, that's almost like a preferable to not having that sort of mechanism activated. Oh yeah, I should also re-import that and import that. Yeah, I mean that's like a more like philosophical question as to whether or not you can realistically connect with somebody if you don't share a certain base number of interests, or like, hey, you share one interest but it's, you know, it's both really important to both, like both of you guys or whatever. Like if you can figure out how to do that, like or it's an open question as to whether or not that there's like a base requirement, you know what I mean? So I know I know what you're talking about anyway. IMO. This is weird. In OBS you can do this now. I don't know what's up with that. It's really strange. Dude, imagine if you're like that's something that you'll never get back, is running like a Starcraft mod on a flash drive or off of a flash drive in high school or middle school even. I actually ran Age of Empires 2 off of a floppy drive, or I tried to. But this is how fucking dumb and young I was, where I copied the shortcut to the exe to the game to the floppy drive, and I was like, all right, it's good. I was very disappointed when I tried to start it up. The whole fucking game was not going to fit on a floppy drive, but I was too dumb to know that. So that was pretty epic. Eventually, I figured that one out. I must have been like not I don't even know if I was 10 yet. I don't know. I was really young. Maybe I was. Maybe I was like 12 or something. I still had not started thinking correctly, obviously. So yeah, StarCraft on a flash drive is epic. But just imagine like that. What kind of sucks is that you'll never really get to a point where you can't have something like a StarCraft mod or anything like that spread organically in the middle of uh like you're not going to be able to get anything like that happening now, because you have to everybody's just going to go the normie route of like BattleNet remastered, no mod. That's not going to fit on a fucking flat. Well, I guess obviously nowadays with flash drive technology it would fit, but you're not going to want to play shit like that. Like nobody's interested in that anymore, right? So it's like the times have very heavily changed. That's a good one though. I like that. Yeah, when you could like use the StarCraft CD key, the one CD key you have to spawn copies for like an entire LAN match or whatever. That's cool though. Getting like you get a little plus respect for installing this FPS game. World of Warcraft off of an iPod. Well, some of the old iPods people forget. Like some of the OG iPods, like the iPod Classics or whatever, had like even back in the day they had like 20 gigs or something, or even more, which was unheard of at the time. I feel like I had an iPod Classic, one of them where you had to like you had a dial. Dude, I can't believe this is real. So there's an iPod Classic that had a fucking dial. I'll have to find it. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, this was it. So you had a dial, and you had to have to like push down on it to like move to another menu. Dude, I can't believe this is real. This is such a fucking dinosaur now. Like you just look at any phone, and you're like, wow, I have this phone. I could just tap on it. But I had something like this, which was like 30 gigs or 60 gigs or something. I don't know. And then I had an iPod Touch that had, I think, equal to or less than the storage. And I was like, wow, why did the storage go down? That's pretty lame. Dude, that's some fucking. I'm not sure if I'm really nostalgic for using that. I don't know that I'm nostalgic for the iPod Classic or iPod Touch, or iTouch as I used to call it, which was gross. Don't ever call it that, by the way. But it brings me back to some memories. Put it that way. I remember using, I think it was eBuddy or iBuddy. It's not I, because that would be like Apple. I think it was eBuddy. eBuddy was this like amalgam. It was basically like Trillion. It was like another version of Trillion where you could like link your AOL Instant Messenger account, your MSN Messenger account, I think your Skype account for a while, and then some other shit. And you could do all of that. And basically it was like a hub where you just have to sign in once because everybody had all these different accounts. And so like this is one of the many services that allow you to do that. So I had that on my iTouch, which is again gross. Don't ever call it iTouch. And that's how I talked to all the girls when I was in high school. Because fuck actually talking to people in real life. I was very socially awkward. So I would just talk to people I found on Omegle or whatever. And that was the highlight of my day, basically. Besides working on really bad Starcraft content. Classic. Anyway, enough reminiscing. I got a BRB, and when I come back with some more water, I don't know what we'll do. It's already 9:30. Can't believe it's so late. I've got to figure out what I'm going to be doing with the rest of my time. Maybe I'll sit down and work on a map. Maybe I'll work on a fucking Nemesis map, because fuck it. It's almost my birthday, dude. Anyway, BRB. All right. Nice short BRB. So what should we do? Let's take a look at some of the Nemesis content that's out of there. First, I gotta rip it from the project archive. Oh my god. Oh goodness. This is a little bit old, huh? A little bit on the old side. Back when I was still using this weird fucking mini ramp. I don't know what was wrong with me. I think this was the block out phase. You know, I was going to update it eventually. Huh. All of these there was going to be a mechanic to Nemesis Omega. I'm looking at this right now. I'm telling you, there's almost no way I can actually use this. But there's going to be a mechanic where different infestable structures would appear at a randomized assortment of locations, like preset locations. I later decided to recycle this concept for Acropolis. All this stuff was going to be base layouted, or I think it already was base layouted, actually. This is so long ago that I worked on this. Yeah, this layout is not really functional, though, unfortunately. Try as I might. Can't believe... I remember when I made this, I was like, this is an epic map. And I guess it was at the time, but... it had some weak parts, man. I'll say that much. Alright, well that's off the table for sure. Can't be looking at that. I guess I can look at the Omega Old map. Man, this was a pre-placed brigade out the wazoo map. There were so many corners that I had to cut for this map, to the point where I was doing shit like pre-placing the supply depots to help with nuclear silo storage, amongst other things. And if you see any units that see mod like random Goliath bases and random fucking battle cruisers or whatever, that's just because since we're using the HYDRA game state MPQ like editor suite or whatever, so things are not accurate. But yeah, I mean this was just a wild approach, man. Some whack ass stuff. So then we obviously go into Stormborn. Stormborn's layout is a bit more functional, mind the obvious issues with some of the terrain. I did at some point even go in here and I took it a step further, man. I went deep in trying to fix the layout because I was going to revisit it. Stormborn's layout is probably pretty functional, actually, if I had to guess. It wouldn't play that badly. But it's not quite as epic as, you know, being able to make a new layout from scratch. Not quite as good as an existing map would be. But I guess it would look like it, you know, it would definitely look like a distinct map, I guess is one way to put it, because it had oh yeah, I didn't blend that terrain yet. I forgot about that. That actually shouldn't be hard though. It's a good thing I popped this open. Some more tiles to fix. The thing is that I'm pretty inclined at this point to say that it would be... Well, it would be difficult to actually get this map to a spit-shined state, as it were. Which isn't to say that I shouldn't attempt it, but... Not sure if it would be the most intelligent use of my time. I think this layout is actually pretty functional, all things considered. If we got the real AI to show up here, could be big. I mean, I have been promising / teasing a rework of this map for a long time, so... I won't be able to salvage this unless I import like specialty tiles. So I guess I could, but it's going to be a bit more involved than it was before. That kind of sucks, but whatever. You. Did you have to go chase at some cats? Or watch them chase each other? Yeah, I guess that counts. It's pretty funny. Those doodads were the wrong height level this whole time. So I was looking over the Nemesis maps, and I just finished doing a once-over of Nemesis Omega. I was reflecting on that map in general. Now, as I'm repairing this map here and there, trying to figure out what changes I would want to make it a functional layout. I think it's fairly functional as it is, but like, not sure if my heart would be in it to try to make like significant updates or whatever. I think I'd be more likely to just decide, fuck it, throw some melee AI in here and see what happens, but at the same time, it feels a little low effort. And you just hit CCMU real quick. I mean, let's be real, there's 3 Zerg in the map. And I think at that breakpoint, especially with the size of the size of the map, you'd hit critical mass pretty quick, I feel like. You know what I don't understand is how I managed to use those doodads in this map. Since I made the doodads that I replaced, I made that set of doodads for this map. So I'm really concerned, like confused how that ended up happening, but whatever. It's not my nature to know, I suppose. I have to figure out where the... I've got to do the trees, obviously, but then I've also got to do the jungle. I don't have this tile in here somehow. Oh, man. Oops, that's not even what I wanted to do. I don't even know what graphic that would be. Oh, I guess it's that. Hey, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Whatever. Those are gonna take ages to replace. And I do not have the attention span for that right now. You know, Consecrate might be an interesting map to jump into. That's weird. I was pretty sure I had the center tiles imported somewhere over here. Maybe that was in another tile set, though. Oh, yeah, they definitely are. I like how that's the only bit of high dirt that I have in the entire map. Goofy. Who knows where I'll find the asset that I need? The fateful 2 tiles. I think I do know where I'll find them, but I have no idea where to search for but up. That's probably right. Looks like it. I'm kind of surprised that there's not more like errors on this map. TBH. I think that's about it. So we definitely have a few more tiles that we should get taken care of. Trees and some other junk. Man, this map took a while to put together. I forgot about some of this shit. I don't think this map ever got very far, but oh yeah. Wow, it's been a while since I've looked at this, that's for sure. Actually, so I did have a fully functional layout for this. I forgot about that. I just wouldn't feel particularly comfortable releasing. I mean, even after correcting all of the custom tiles that have shifted around or whatever, it's not a layout that I feel particularly strong about. Ah, yes. The Gorgolith apiary. This was going to be a wild map. It had like custom faction, like player specific changes and stuff, which was pretty cool. Like one player was going to play as infested Terrans, and one player was going to play as like evolution specialists. And I don't remember what these guys were. I think they were swarmers or something. But something best suited for the new engine, I think. And chain editor. Yeah, I was also going to like have custom upgrades and shit, and I'm not very happy with that. All right. Fruit dispenser. Inject infested Stukov with the nanotech serum. Dude, that sounds like fan fiction to me. Holy moly. Oh shit! Swamp Ridge! Excuse me. How rude of me. I don't know what came over me. I've no. I found him. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Sure. 1659 unused mini tiles, by the way. We'll be there for a sec. All right, so I'll slot that in. That'll be perfecto. Mwah. Mwah, mwah. Beautiful. And then, so that'll be all we need for the first Zerg mission and the first Terran mission. The second Zerg mission is in some atrocious state, I'm sure. It would need to be, like, all of them need to be redrafted anyway, but at least the missions that were already released previously are being risen up for now. We'll see where that goes afterwards. Oops. So we'll go ahead and add jungle, bing, bong. Add jungle, add swamp water, swamp bridge. Okay. Looks pretty good. IMO. That's an obvious mistake. I think I know what happened there too. Unfortunately. Well, that's an easy fix anyway. It's just kind of annoying. I think we're good there as well. Jump in here. I really should have looked in here to begin with, but I didn't. Oh yeah, and then the... No, that's not it. No, I think those were the only two examples. Okay, cool. Well, I know it was another shorter stream than usual, but we're getting back to some reasonable regular schedule compared to what we were dealing with before. This is a nice like token stream to jump in and get some work done. Certainly more work than I would have gotten done if I hadn't streamed. So I'm happy about that. It served its purpose. The streak lives on. And we will be back tomorrow, probably in the morning, maybe in the early afternoon. We'll see. To get some work done on hopefully some AI and programming stuff. Maybe some more tiles. I don't know. I think we've done a decent chunk already, so not really sure what would be left. I guess whatever would be necessary for Stormborn in theory, but I still haven't really decided whether or not that's like a fleeting desire where, yeah, I want to just distract myself by working on some other map, or if it's actually something that is of interest to me. I mean, really, I think if I was going to go deep, I would try to do something like Acropolis, but it requires like custom units and stuff, and we don't have the entries for that, so I think we'll restrict ourselves to some sort of multiplayer, like cooperative HYDRA style scenario, but or Nemesis style scenario even, I don't mind, but if we do decide to make some map like that, so we shall see. But I shall see you next time. Thanks for hanging. Bye.